Oh, I got you. Is the sound on? The sound's on. I had a German friend who was a sound engineer. And a Czech one too. My name's Ben Hildred. 33 years old. From Lincoln, England, living in Queenstown. And this is my first road falls. This is my Santa Cruz Hightower that I climbed 1,000,000 feet on this year in 200 days. I run the SRAM Access XX1 group set, 10 to 52 tooth cassette, which is the biggest SRAM range possible, and a 34 tooth chaining on the front. Anything less than 34 and you might as well be on an e-bike. Sort it out. It's SRAM code RSC brakes front and rear, 200mm rotors front and rear with sintered brake pads, the RockShox Reverb 200mm post, Lyric Ultimate forks and a RockShox Super Deluxe Ultimate rear shock. At the minute I have the Quark power meter on there too. I run the Santa Cruz Hightower frame in extra large with the Reserve 30 wheel set on DT Swiss 240 hubs. There's been a lot of wear and tear, I guess, over the past 200 days. I've been through, I believe, 5 or 6 chains, 2 cassettes, 2 chain rings, 2 sets of pulley wheels, idler and jockey wheel on the rear mech. I think about 6 pairs of brake pads on the back, 2 pairs of brake pads on the front, 2 rotors on the back. Replaced the bottom bracket, that's my second one, and that's still going strong. 3 tyres on the back. This is the same tyre on the front though, although it's pretty haggard. It could be doing with being replaced. Probably needs a good wash now and some TLC. Poor bike. I've been able to ride every day, which is good, because I needed to ride every day in order to keep up on my daily average, which turned out to be just over 1,500 metres a day. So yeah, it was important that the bike was running smooth every day, otherwise I would have been buggered. It's been advantageous working in a bike shop, and I've also been able to keep on top of servicing. Like for example, lower services, air can services, did a 600-hour reverb service as well, just to keep it running smooth. Never caught short with the battery on the rear mech. I think I've charged it probably about a dozen times, maybe once every 2 weeks. It's just, you kind of get into a routine of before I go out, I do a click. If it's green, happy days, don't have to worry about it. If you do a click in the morning, it's red, I'll just chuck in a new battery, it's that easy. A big talking point about my bike always is the size of the dropper post. I don't know why that is. I mean, I'm on a 200mm reverb. I can't really adjust the height of my seat. That's how high it needs to be, but it does look pretty bonkers all the way up there. Just got big legs. I run flat pedals. I just much prefer running flat pedals. They're just comfortable, easy to use, especially if you're on the bike for hours on end. And they're just great fun. Like, you don't really need clips unless you're a World Cup downhill racer and you need clips to hold your feet on the pedals, or you're an XC racer who needs every extra watt. There's no other reason for you to run clips. So just run flat pedals. I usually let the tyres go until there's pretty much nothing left on them, which makes it a great combination. Flat pedals, bull tyres, 30 psi in the back. That's generally what I've been running for safety. Yeah, you'll have a great time. And before you know it, you'd have climbed 1,000,000 feet. The SRAM XX1 Access rear mech I've got on this bike is the same one I had on my Toolboy for the Olympus Mons climb that I did last year. It's bulletproof. I just put it straight off my Toolboy onto this, and I've been running it for a while now. Yeah, it's just a quality piece of kit. I run the spoke tension pretty soft on these wheels as well, just for a bit more compliance. Using a good quality spoke and Pro-Lock nipples means that, you know, I haven't touched those wheels with a spoke key once, genuinely. I also built them, so they're really good quality hand-built wheels, available at Vertigo Bikes in Queenstown if you want some good wheels. Queenstown trail's been pretty steep and being quite tall. I like to run a higher rise bar, just so you can get the weight over the back where it needs to be. Again, it's something you probably won't find on a bike that's specific or aimed towards climbing so much, but it's just comfortable. And the Bergtech, the bartender grips as well, a nice thick diameter. Also, you'll notice my saddle angle and seat position is really far forward, and it's kind of on a bit of a downward tilt. As I'm climbing so much, this is the most comfortable place to have it. It's probably not the most practical for like an all-day, all-out trail bike, but that's kind of, it's got a job, and its job was to go uphill and be as comfortable as possible. So yeah, deal with it. 2 guys got done for stealing a calendar the other day. They both got 6 months. Most of the time I've been running my tyres at about 28 to 30 psi, which it kind of sounds ridiculous, but some days when time's really tight, like trying to fit riding between work, I can't afford to stop with punctures and push my bike down and fix the puncture. I've usually have set targets per day that I need to achieve to get my weekly quota of elevation. So yeah, although it's not as grippy and it's probably not too wise, 28 to 30 psi, it's just what you got to do. I generally, unless it's super cold, I don't run gloves. I prefer the feel of just riding gloveless, although to keep my fingers warm whilst braking, I've shrink wrapped my brake levers. Works to some extent, which is pretty cool. In terms of bearings and wear throughout the bike, I've replaced the rear hub bearings once, drive and non-drive, and also the lower frame pivot bearings have been replaced once as well, but they're free because it's a Santa Cruz, so happy days. In terms of suspension setup, stuff's generally just fast rebound, relatively hard, efficient for climbing. Went to the Blockbuster the other day and asked if I could borrow Batman Forever, and he said no, you got to bring it back tomorrow. With the SRAM Access rear mech and shifter, you have the option in the app to adjust how many shifts one hold click does. So as well as it being just up and down, you can hold it down to go through the whole cassette. The majority of my riding was up a steep access road and then turn around at the bottom and then do a full descent, so it wasn't undulating. So I've actually got it set up so that if I just hold it down, it just shifts through the whole cassette. So at the top, it's really quick, really efficient, and especially at the bottom, because like my climb finishes in a hairpin and I go straight back up. So I just hold down, a couple of spins on the pedals, and I'm right back up where I need to be. So that's pretty cool. At the start of the challenge, like motivation was like huge, and like it was really warm outside and everyone was riding bikes and the days were super long, and yeah, it was like a super great idea. I just wanted to do it in a year, and as the weeks went on, I realized I was averaging more than what I needed to, so I've just been slowly pulling the goalpost back. Like May, June time was pretty full on, and July, the 2 weeks of July that I needed to do to finish in 200 days was pretty full on. It's been freezing a lot, and we've having a lot of freeze thaw mixed with like heavy rain showers. The last 2 weeks was the access road that I used was just peanut butter. It was just like really thick, really slow. The open sections you could hardly pedal up. It was quite grim. The first week of July was the biggest week of the 200 days. Averaged at 3,000 vertical meters a day, in between a full-time job, in the middle of the New Zealand school holidays, so it's pretty hectic. Not much sleep that week, and lots of time with my head down, either freezing or soaking wet. Over 21,000 vertical meters that week, all on this. Bono and the Edge walk into a bar, and barman says, "Oh, not you two again." Good, eh?